listening to the Energy is Love podcast.
Energy is Love.
The Energy is the Love podcast.
The Energy is Love podcast.
Energy is love. Try not to make
The
sound
Energy
with
is
my
Love
lotion.
podcast.
You can make sound with
The
your lotion.
podcast
It sounds
for the
like-
universe.
The Energy is Love podcast.
No, get up on the
Oh,
mic.
I'm sorry. I thought you were like, it sounds like, girl. I'm like, yeah, it does.
No, it sounds fine.
Yeah, I think that needs to move.
What?
This.
The coffee?
Yeah.
You
I
put
was
the
going to
coffee
grab
over there.
it, but I realized with my slip hands, I would just like
Slip it right out.
cause an accident over here.
I like your slippery hands. I'm
It's a
just
bad guy
saying.
podcast. Or is it?
I was going to ask you.
What?
Did you, right before we pushed record, that's what I was looking for.
Oh,
Capitol building breached and lockdown ordered. Do they have tear gas going?
only thing I saw is tear gas is not peaceful. So I don't know if somebody was threatening or if they're using it's a bunch of shit. It's a bunch of shit.
Armed standoff at house front door.
Because
Oh,
Trump.
my God.
So
This is a coup attempt. I don't understand what the fuck these people are doing.
they want to be. See, it's so hard. It's so hard.
I don't understand what is going on.
They're upset. I mean, they're upset that Trump isn't going to be president because he lost again. Like, how many times are they going to recount so he can lose? I don't have anything. Only thing I have to say is so negative.
Well, today they were recounting, right? Is that right?
Yes. The Congress counted the electoral votes.
Electoral votes.
Mm-hmm. And again, Trump lost. Again.
Again.
And then they say that the people actually, he won the popular vote. No, he didn't.
Yeah. No.
What, is that me?
Is that you? What?
You looked at me like I was making a noise.
You are making a noise. You're talking. We'll get back to that.
I
We'll
don't
get back to what's
have-
going on in this beautiful country of ours.
I just have negativity to spread about that.
That's
So
okay.
it's
We can
hard.
talk about it negatively.
I want to be wrong, though.
Me too.
I want to
I
be
don't
wrong.
think we are, though.
Yeah. You are looking at me. What is it?
I don't know what it
where
is.
to put it. Am I okay?
You're very okay.
I think we need to talk about the new process.
We do. We have
so that you know why I'm so scared to make noise. I'm like,
we're pretending
what's
like we
new?
know what we're doing.
what looks
This is
new?
the first episode of the year of 2021.
that's new?
And the reason we didn't have a new episode last week is because we were getting new equipment, hence the new equipment, which you can't really see
can't
with
see
the
all of
exception of
it.
the microphones.
Some stuff has to go back. Some of the new equipment's here.
But yeah, so we got new equipment, new headphones, new microphones, chairs, some new equipment to go over here that you can't see, the recording stuff. And I'm
It's a
super
good
excited.
thing.
It's a very good thing.
I'm more excited about the chair than anything.
You like the chair?
I do. And thinking that my bouncy ball that I was sitting on wasn't that distracting.
And
I
now you
watched
can
the
spin.
video. No, it was distracting. Like the whole time I had this little like, because you can't sit on a ball and not bounce. You can't.
That's true.
So
I've heard many ladies say that. You didn't hear it?
yeah.
I'm teasing. I haven't heard any ladies say that. But new equipment, and we don't know what the fuck we're doing apparently, even though we do kind of.
Not bouncing on that ball.
Not bouncing on that ball. But no, it means we have to get everything set up in your amazing
There's been a lot
husband.
of test runs.
There's a lot,
yes.
yeah. And this is, even though this is going to be an episode, it's still a test run.
How did I not hear the microphone or the headphone cord moving before?
Do you think that's what it was?
No, but it's moving now. I don't know where to put it.
What's wrong with it?
It's moving, and I feel like it's making noise.
It's okay.
Can you not hear it?
Is it touching the mic stand?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah,
no, it's
no, it
touching
should be
the chair. Okay.
Yeah. I think everything's okay.
I like that you're pretending you're all calm now, and I look like the crazy one.
Everything's
But what
okay.
happened earlier was the opposite.
What do you mean
of this.
earlier? What happened yesterday? What happened for like 4 hours today? What's been going on?
I think since
for
the
the past
moment you
week
put them in
since-
the cart and hit order,
Yeah.
then you're like, just fuck from here on out.
I am going to be fucked from here on out for
you're
about
so
3
good,
months.
Though. You're so good. It won't be that long.
Until I get it all squared away and
Yeah.
then finally just be like, well, that is what it is. What are you going to do?
In the meantime, I'm over here like, I'm sorry, there's a cord.
But we did the smart
Literally.
thing with our stimulus. So if you're not from America, bless you. Like, good. Like you should be thankful that you're not from this country right now, especially today. But we used our stimulus money, the money that the government sent us out because of the terrible coronavirus. And we invested in new equipment. We also gathered together all of the Christmas money that we got from our parents. Thank you, every single one of you. Every parent of ours gave us some money, and we pooled it all together, and it went into the new equipment fund for the podcast. So thank you. Thank you, people that supported us, meaning our moms and our dads. And the government. But yeah, we have new equipment. What do you think?
Wow.
What?
I have so much shame right now.
Why? Because we used our stimulus money?
Yes. And
Fuck
all
that.
of that. Like, I have the list of all the things that we should have done. But we're investing in... We're good. We're good to invest in this. Yeah.
We're investing in our investment.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I feel like I'm not lined up right.
I feel like you're totally fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how nervous I got earlier until this moment.
When we were practicing?
Because I was fine because it was a practice. And now I'm like, shit. I'm back to, remember? I don't know how to hold my neck.
Hold on. Hold still.
I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do.
Oh, it's fine.
I don't know what to do either.
Yeah?
I tried to like have everything done so that I could just focus on the episode
Yes.
and focus on us talking.
How is it working?
Not working very well.
What are you focusing on?
It's something else.
What is it?
I don't know.
See? Did I
It's
echo?
some sound.
I think it was me. I think it was this.
But that's not connected to
I don't
anything. I
fucking
made
know
sure
what
that
to
it
It is
wasn't.
connected to something. That's how I hear. Did you just give me something? You're like, here, pretend like you're doing something.
Talking to this
It's
microphone.
like when you give the kids the remote control that's
fucking
not
wooden
plugged in.
spoon.
Like, whoa.
Today on this podcast, my name's Stephanie.
Is my shit plugged in?
Yes. Everything of yours is connected. You are live and recording.
That's funny.
Yeah, it is funny.
That's funny.
No, I'll try to relax. And
Yeah.
if I'm
I feel like
incredibly
it's brighter than normal too.
well, we're recording during the day, and we
Is
got-
that it? Like the sun. There's sun. There's no beer. I don't know what's happening.
I
It's because it's
know.
during the day. So
It is bizarre.
we're not day drinking. That's obvious.
Day drinking.
No day drinking. You need to stop looking over here like that. So I stop thinking I'm doing something wrong. Because every time you're like searching over here, I'm like,
I'm just trying to
So
see
stop.
if it's really something or if it's just in
not.
my head.
it's in your head.
It probably
Stop
is.
looking at me like I'm doing something wrong so I can act normal.
I'm going to turn and talk to the people.
Do that.
So thank you. We did last week's or two.
It's not even recording. I'm just kidding.
That would be so funny. No, if you supported the podcast last year, thank you. And we have some things in store for this year. I know that it seems like we are always doing that, right? Where we're always like, coming up this year on the podcast.
Well, it's because there's a lot of stuff that we want to talk about, but not a lot of stuff that feels comfortable talking. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I can talk about that. We hit record. I'm like, not today. Not today.
I do that though.
You do that.
There's plenty of times where I'm like, yeah, let's talk about that.
You know what I haven't looked at for a long time?
Hmm.
I don't know.
Sorry.
That hasn't been a long time.
I know. It was
I
funny.
looked at that this morning. Is that not what you meant?
I was being very crass.
I looked at it.
Are you looking at your list?
Yes.
I have some stuff on my list.
Yes, that was stuff that we talked about that you put on your list. Maybe we should just leave it there.
Well, before we get
Because I've
going
got
too
New
far,
Zealand recognizes all animals as sentient beings is on my list. Still.
that's old.
I
remember when you
know.
found that. That's way old.
I'll just check that off.
I'm just looking at the news story.
Okay.
Pro-Trump mob storms U.S. Capitol as armed standoff takes place outside House chamber. I don't know if it's really that, though.
True. It is on the news.
Right?
It is
An
on
armed
social
standoff was
media.
taking
It
place.
might be. I don't know. I don't put anything past the
Police had their
intelligence
guns
level.
drawn at someone, so just a person. A Trump
Yeah.
supporter was also pictured standing at the Senate dais. Trump supporters marching through Capitol Police, asking for additional law enforcement. Suspicious devices outside the Capitol building. Of course there are. Boy, I don't know.
What?
Gathering in some... So it's just protesters so far.
Yeah. Protesting Trump. There is not a good reason for that. Only thing...
So flashbangs
like,
were
it's a
used by
shame.
cops. That's pretty common. Boy,
What are they protesting?
The
We want our racist president back.
there.
We want to be able to rape, attack, segregate everybody.
So
See, it's so hard not to think that. I don't know how to be. I said I'm leaving pessimism behind, and I see that, and I'm like, this is disgusting.
One of the-
I'm ashamed of
my
all
buddy
these
Corey, we were
people.
talking about. He has this. I mean, whether it's I'm not saying it's an irrational fear, especially given what we just read, but
Mhm.
that everything is just going to dissolve into civil war.
Yeah,
That
a lot of people
basically
think that.
he's not going to leave, and people are going to basically band together so that he doesn't leave, meaning the president, right? President Trump. So he's not going to leave office on whatever it is, the 21st or 23rd or whatever of January, when Biden's supposed to be sworn in, and it's just going to lead to civil war, where basically it's going to be this whole fucking
We
thing.
got to get to a fucking blue state. We got to get out of Utah.
Why?
Because what if it is real? I know it's not. What if it does? I can see just the mentality or lack of all the Trump supporters. I could see this.
Yeah, but we're protected in this state.
Why? I don't. How
We're
do you
protected
figure?
by all the other idiotic Trump supporters that live in this nice little town of ours that have guns. So we'll just stay here.
What the fuck?
What are we supposed to do?
I don't know.
Leave? Where are we going to go? Somewhere?
I don't want to be in support with Trump people.
Agreed.
So if it was to come to that, I'm not going to be like, well, okay, I'll stay here.
Well, it's not going to come to that. The world isn't going to, this country isn't going to dissolve
I don't
into
think it
civil
will
war over Donald
Because I mean,
Trump.
that's never happened. Over racist bullshit
Yeah, but that was back in the day.
that's still there.
No, not the racism part, the Civil War part.
Wait, what?
Like,
Did you say racism isn't there?
No, I said, racism is there.
Yeah.
It's still a thing.
Yes.
But
What
the
did you
Civil
say?
War
You're right. It's over.
was back in the day.
You're right.
We don't do those kind of things anymore. We're much more civilized as people, as you can see.
Are you being a
I'm
smart
trying
ass
to.
right
Yeah,
now?
yeah. This country's
are you
full
being-
of fucking idiots.
Okay. I wasn't sure what was happening. I'm like, is this a belief?
No, it's not. It's a.
Okay.
I don't know what
So
we're
what do you
going to
think
do.
is going to happen?
I don't know. We're going to find out. This might be the last episode of the podcast because we're going to be on the run.
We're going to be on the run?
But we'll record live from wherever we're at. Yeah. Follow us at.
I don't think it's going to turn to shit.
It's not going to.
I don't think it is. I think I wouldn't be surprised if there was attempts of that because people love their hate.
What was the headline? An armed standoff?
I don't remember.
I think that was the headline.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not what's going on. That makes it sound like there's a militia of Trump supporters, behind barricades. That makes it sound like it's a scene from fucking Les Mis where, that's not what's going on.
Will you top me off a little bit?
With coffee?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize you had coffee. I thought you had your tea.
No, I didn't have time to make it, so I just went with a little bit of coffee.
Trump protesters invade Capitol.
Invade. So are they inside?
That's what it makes it seem,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's what the headline is. Oh my God, that means that they breached the doors. U.S. Capitol breached by pro-Trump protesters. Armed standoff at House front door. So that literally makes it sound like they're in the standoff with the police. That's the news media for you. That's not what's happening, I guarantee it.
It's not?
No, of course not. It's like one person that probably doesn't even have a gun that is just refusing to do something that the police want them to do, and the police are holding them at gunpoint.
Stevie just sent me a message how she got a notification on her phone about it. And so she's like, oh, I'm like, it's okay. Just stay
Yeah, everything's fine.
away from the area.
Stay away from what area? Stevie's not in Washington, D.C.
I thought they were also they're doing the capital, but I thought they were also hitting the state capital. So they're doing the nation's capital, but my understanding was that there was also protesters around the country, including Utah, that are doing state capital protests as well.
I don't think so.
That's what I thought. I'm like, it makes sense for the.
If you come here for your news,
good thing
you
Jesus.
are in for a treat. Because there's one thing that Stephanie and I do.
Trump supporters rally at the Utah State Capitol building. And that's the one that I haven't cleared off yet. So they are at state capitals as well as nation capitals.
Today?
Yes.
What are they doing?
I don't know.
Protesting.
They're protesting. They're making asses of themselves.
They really are. They just really are. Let them protest though, right? It's their right. They get to protest.
Yes.
You can't deny that.
I see that.
They get to protest and
that.
throw as many
But they're
fits
not
as they want.
protesting for
The way that you want them to?
You're right. They're not protesting the way that I want them to. They're not protesting for love, for equality. They're protesting for hate, racism, segregation, patriarchy. They're protesting for hate, not love.
Well, in their minds, they're not.
I feel like they know that they are in their minds.
Not for hate, I'm sure. They're protesting for America. The freedom that this country's built
Okay,
on.
stop. For one, I don't have enough information at this point to have a
legitimate conversation about it.
I only have an emotional understanding based off of the Facebook propaganda fear-based news feed that I just received.
Yeah.
So all this is going to do is continue to spread that for whoever listens. So at this point, there's not enough information to continue. This is just happening, and I'm not going to discuss something that I have no information on that could cause panic any further.
One of the things that I wanted to highlight on this episode is stuff that some people do that drives me bonkers.
Was that one of them?
No.
I think it might have been.
It definitely wasn't. It was people that are in the spiritual community who...
I'm not in any community.
Yeah, you are.
What community am I in?
I don't know.
Name one. No, what community circle is my peeps?
Your peeps?
What's my community outings that I'm doing?
It's the podcast, right?
You're
in a podcasting circle. You're part of the podcasting.
I don't talk to
realm.
podcasting people. I talk to you.
Well, I'm a podcasting person.
You're in a lot of communities.
I'm not actually.
You are.
You're a dork. No, people in the spiritual community who have every time that they do some video for their social media, they start off their videos with, "Hello, my beloveds."
Oh, yes.
Where they have names for the people that they are, everybody. I don't even know where to start. It gets me so pissed off and fired up because it's annoying.
You don't like the term beloved. Got it.
It's not beloved.
I hate the term blessings. I'm trying to be okay with that, so keep going.
No, it's not just the term beloved. It's that whole idea that they're going to be hello, welcome, sacred sisters or brothers, sacred sisters. And do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just the silliest fucking, I hate it. I just hate it.
I unfollow
It's the whole
people
thing
like
that is all love and light and hello, beloveds. Today we're going to be talking about. So I think that's what we're going to be doing on this podcast.
Hello, beloveds.
Mm-hmm. We're going to call the fans of this show beloveds.
The podcast.
Energy's Love Podcast Beloveds.
No.
ELPBs. Energy is Love Podcast Beloveds.
That was fast.
Yeah.
It sounds like I just want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Do you want to be an ELPB?
Okay, don't let that catch. No.
Why? It's good.
No, it's not.
We could start a whole sub Reddit for the podcast that is just ELPBs. People that love the podcast.
People
our
that
beloveds.
love the podcast. No.
Our beloveds.
Well, let's come up. What can we call them?
Our beloveds.
You can call them. No.
I'm calling them beloveds.
You probably will do that. You will do that for a minute, and then you'll drive yourself crazy.
I will drive myself
I will start
crazy.
if you start calling them all of our listeners beloveds. I'm gonna start calling you my beloved.
No.
My beloved.
Don't do that.
During sex.
During sex.
Enjoy that, my beloved.
Oh, Mr. Beloved.
And then a laugh, which will add to it.
That's how I like it. Beloved. Beloved, come here.
I'm
See,
going
it's
to.
so fucking annoying.
Well, maybe that's what happened. Maybe they got stuck in a loop of making fun of it, and now they can't quit saying it. It's like, oh, I heard it.
I guarantee
It's like
not.
ums and pops. Like, fuck.
No, because they take themselves seriously.
Yes, they do.
And they're like, hello,
They have to have the
beloveds.
voice to show. No, I don't want to be talking shit. Why are we talking shit?
I'm not talking shit. I'm
Talking
just talking about
shit.
shit that drives me nuts.
Okay.
Things that annoy me.
Things that annoy me in 2021.
Already?
Beloveds.
There's another one that we had from yesterday. Do you remember?
I do. Do you want me to say it?
Sure.
Wait, hold on. First, this might be a trigger warning.
Good one.
How'd I do?
Perfect.
Yes.
You have to explain now.
Why? I just gave the. That's it. Trigger warnings are something that drive you crazy. Trigger warnings are something that do not drive me crazy.
They don't drive you crazy?
To a point. Like there are those times that. No, I think it's okay to a point because I think there's people that. I don't know. We have an Amber Alert. Oh,
wow. Ooh, Amber Alert coming up. You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, but this isn't going to
It's
go
completely
out.
useless at this point because,
Right? This is going to be days later.
yeah.
Well, Stevie will be messaging me too. No internet. Okay.
You don't need to read the Amber Alert. I don't think they're going to come through
Okay.
the studio right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
We'll pay
might.
attention
Well,
for the red vehicle.
Yeah, but Torres, it's a custodial.
So,
Sorry.
trigger alerts.
That was a trigger alert.
When people take the time and effort to tell you, I just want to give you guys a heads up that during this episode of the podcast or during what?
I got distracted by the Amber Alert.
During this episode of the podcast, we're going to discuss some things that might be hard for you to hear. So people that have a hard time hearing X, Y, or Z,
Lose the tone.
but that's the tone they use.
Okay, however, I still think that there are times that that's a compassionate thing to do.
I was thinking about it today, actually, this morning. I was
Yeah?
thinking about it. So is it clear on what we're talking about, you think?
Trigger warnings?
That people, not just trigger warnings.
Things that drive Craig crazy. What is the bane of your existence?
What is
There's
the
a
point
list.
of this conversation? No, when people
I thought it's not it, then no.
go through the effort of saying before they say something, this thing I'm about to say might be hard for some people to hear. And so if it's hard for you to hear these things, then maybe you don't want to listen.
Yes, I'm mixed on that.
I am too, actually, the more that I thought about it when I woke up this morning at whatever time it was.
Yeah, there's things that are hard. But that thing that I said that I told you to write down,
You want me to read it?
I think it was apologize for speaking before I even say a word or something. Like that's the part of the trigger warning too. It's like what I have to say.
Excuse myself for talking even before I start.
Yes. So that there's that aspect of it. Want to be able to speak. Want to be able to say this is what I'm feeling. However, no. I think trigger warnings are okay.
You think they're okay?
I think they're okay.
Do you think they're necessary?
Sometimes yes.
Because the thing that I...
Especially, you never know when you're going to have somebody listening that's in a raw state. And how raw can we be right now? Like the time of everything, so many people are in some really raw states just with that. But we don't know what tragedy has just happened to somebody.
Yeah.
And there's times that I have heard, like listening to something, that there's a rape trigger warning. And there's times that I'm okay with listening, and there's time I'm like, I'm not fucking dealing with that today. Like I will turn that shit off because I know that I cannot hear it. And I'm glad that I had that warning.
But what if you just turn it off when you hear it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's that. But if you're in an activated state, you can't unhear what you heard. And so it still starts to replay. It still triggers.
I guess
It puts you back in that state. So you're going to still have all of those things activated, and you're going to start to experience whatever that's going to bring up. You can't be like, oh, well, I'll just turn it off now. It's fine. So I think, I don't know. I think I'm pro trigger warnings.
Well, for me, it was like the realization, because I was thinking more about it this morning, because I want to be for it.
Yeah.
Because I think at the end of the day that it's just a nice thing that people are trying to do to help other people.
So what's your opposition then?
It's stupid. Like it seems really dumb when it's used to warn you about really stupid things. Because I
feel like you should have given me a trigger warning for that one. What do you mean stupid things?
No, like I'm trying to think of some examples.
It keeps going off.
Your Amber Alert
Yeah.
makes you want to pay. It's because it wants you to pay attention.
I am paying attention.
No, when it's used for like this episode, or like you see it a lot with TV and stuff. Or I don't know. I guess I'm being stupid. I'm trying to think of examples, and everything that pops into my head, I'm like, well, that's kind of legitimate. Well, that's kind of legitimate.
So you're proving your own point, or you're proving my point.
I just think that to me, what it triggers inside of me is that thing of like, we need safe spaces so that people don't feel threatened by whatever it might be, loud noises or clapping. This episode has
you're not talking about triggers. You're talking about personal point of privilege, and you're confusing the two.
I'm not confusing them. That's what
it
triggers inside of me. That's what the whole concept and idea of like, well, we're going to give this little caveat before this episode starts so that people have some awareness of like, this might trigger you because we say the word fuck, or we talk about.
I think the word you're mixing the two. I do. Why can't we speak today? I don't think I've had a coherent sentence since we hit record.
Right. Let's see. 26 minutes in.
Jesus. Okay. I'm for it. I'm for it. And I'm not supportive of personal points of privilege.
Do you want to start doing it on this podcast?
I have thought there's been many episodes, and I think I've asked you a few times, should there be a trigger warning? Should we put a trigger warning in it? When we used to do the intros, we would record those after.
Yeah. Should we do it?
Well, that's the thing, is a lot of times we don't have planned what comes up. It's like, here we are, we're talking about coffee, we're talking about this funny thing, and next thing you know, we are deep in a trauma moment that we're talking through on the podcast. We never know what's going to come up.
Yeah.
So how do we I don't know, just put it in the title, I guess, of not the episode.
We can always record something after the fact if we end up talking about something during the episode that is difficult. I don't think we should do it. I'm asking.
You don't think we should do it?
I don't think we should do it. I don't know. I mean, I think the reality is, gosh dang it. I'm trying to think of, I don't either, because
part of me kind of does.
Part of you kind of what does?
Well, I can think of a lot of things that I have said on this podcast that I have thought, like, worried about. Like, I've not too far away, or fucking words. Jesus. That
not
is
too
not
long
happening.
ago?
Yes. The last couple of months that
We've
would
had
have
some
absolutely
intense
should
episodes.
have had a trigger warning on it.
Yeah.
Why do we have to be hard instead of compassionate?
What do you mean? I don't think it's hard.
I think it's hard.
Why do we have to?
I think it's
Why do we have to put
tough
soft
note.
corners on everything?
I think personal points of privilege are more of soft corners on everything. I think there's a balance between soft corners on everything and saying, big boys don't cry, put your big girl pants on, like, and acting like nothing bothers you.
Yeah.
I think there's a middle ground of being like, this is going to be a hard conversation. Maybe you're ready for it. Maybe you're not.
Okay, maybe maybe.
Not. I'm sorry for saying the word fuck. If you don't like the word fuck, don't listen. That's fine. But I don't feel like that's a trigger.
Well, what are some topics that we need to trigger? Trigger warn.
Well, I said rape. I've talked about rape on the podcast. I
Yeah.
think that could have used a trigger warning.
Okay, so we can put that one down in the future. What else?
I think abuse.
Any form?
I don't know, Craig.
Baby, I'm not being a dick. I'm not playing my devil's advocate thing.
I think if, like, a casual mention is one thing when we talk about abuse, but I think if we're unraveling some past traumas, then yeah, I think so. I think when we unravel trauma, it's trauma for a reason, And it's unlikely that we're the only person that has that trauma. And I think, I don't know. What do you think?
I don't either.
Should we trigger warning?
Yeah.
I feel like.
Let us know what you want. If you want us to give you, like, if you've listened during one of the podcast episodes that we've done.
You're like, where the fuck did that come from? A little warning, people.
Yeah, where suddenly it's like really difficult stuff that we're talking through and discussing. And you're like, well, that would have been nice to know that that was coming up. Because it's not always, that's the other thing is like, you can't, like in the show notes and the little title and the exam, you know what I mean? It's not like, I don't know.
And how many people read that?
Right. Not a lot.
Some do, some don't.
Yeah.
I will usually read them if it's a new podcast.
Uh-huh.
But if it's one that I listen to,
You're
I
just like,
just
whatever.
hit play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we need to think about it. I guess I need to think about it. Obviously, if it was up to you, you would just do it.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, maybe we just need to do it then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's what we do.
Yeah.
Start trigger warning our episodes.
Just.
Can we come up with a new word?
Sure. What would you like?
An advisory.
An advisory.
Yeah.
Explicit content advisory. We already have the E title. You already have a
It's
little
already
E that
explicit
says,
content.
well, we swear.
Because we say fuck and stuff.
And we talk about
Dicks and
chicks
stuff.
And stuff.
Stuff and dicks and stuff.
Stuff and dicks?
For dinner. for Thanksgiving.
No. No. I went from like stuffing dicks, like, I can go in here. Like stuffing. and then you meant like turkeys. That was
Turkey
gross.
stuffing. Yeah, I guess we can think about it some more.
Yeah.
And I guess we can just do it. I guess I don't need to think about it. I guess we can just do it. If you and I do an episode where we feel like, oh my God, that was some pretty intense stuff, we should probably give people some heads up about.
Well, our families learned, like, they don't really listen to it anymore.
I know.
They're like, I cannot handle the shit you guys talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of topics that are coming that are probably going to weed out the rest of the folks listening that are related to us. And that's fine.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. We love you anyways. So that's all that's on my list.
That's all that's on your list?
I guess we'll start trigger warning stuff.
Things to look forward to. What are you looking forward to with this year? Do you have anything?
Ash and I are going to go back to jiu-jitsu.
Are you looking forward to that?
I'm really looking forward to that.
That's exciting.
It is exciting. Yeah, I'm in mad need of like outlet.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, him too.
So
I'm excited for both of you.
we're going to go back and do some MMA training for the big fight that's coming up.
Yeah?
I don't think I'm going to answer that.
Yeah? 385? No?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
It's probably something to do with our warranty.
Probably.
Yeah, our warranty is expiring for the 15th time today.
This is the last notice. Liar!
We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Why do you keep calling me then?
What else am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to expansion of this podcast and the people that we're going to have on the show.
Who do you want to have on this year? Name one person that you want to have on. Can you? I can't, so don't ask me that question. I'm just asking you. Do you have one obtainable goal of a person that you want on this year?
Boy, I don't know.
Yeah?
Maybe that's what I got to think about.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then are we going to bring them here?
Yeah, this is our recording studio
Yeah.
now. Yeah, we set it up so we have a recording
That's
studio.
nice.
Of course we're going to bring them here.
Yeah?
Yeah. Where else would we bring them?
I'm excited possibility of I have talked to one person and I like this person and I like what they do. So I'm excited to get them on the show.
Possibly.
And help promote them as well as talk about them.
Yeah.
They're doing good work.
It's so funny. Every time I sit and think about like people that I want to bring on the podcast, I just think about people that have already been on the podcast.
Oh.
And I'm like, that's probably not the best thing to do is just regurgitate.
If you want to talk to them again.
Of course, right? If there's people that
Yeah.
like repeat guests and things like that.
I almost said, like, if you get to talk to Elon Musk again, but that's not who it was. Who did you talk to? It was Rick Doblin. Elon Musk is what I heard. I'm like, that would have been fucking cool.
Elon was on the show back in the day, yeah.
Rick Doblin.
Early episode. Go find that episode. Send it to me.
I'm super nervous about guests on the show.
Why is that?
Because I discovered that when we started having guests on the show that I don't know how to talk to other people. I stammer with you, but it's really hard for me to sit down and like I can have a conversation with other people, but when I feel like I have to make like it's hard for me to have a natural conversation with a microphone and a camera with other people. And I don't want to not have a natural conversation. I don't want to have a scripted conversation. I don't want to have one that I'm just silent through.
Yeah.
So it's really hard for me to engage.
I think you do a good job, though.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh my God, not from this end. I'm like I don't say anything for a long time. And then I'm like, you've got to talk.
No, I think you do a good job.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Well, I'm super nervous about it. I'm almost like sabotaging nervous about it. Like, I don't think I can do it. So I'm just going to make sure it doesn't happen. I think my eye twitched. My eyes did a weird thing right there.
If you want to come on the podcast, reach out. Go to the website.
Probably don't reach out to me. I'm going to come up with excuses.
Steph's like, we're busy that day.
I'm sorry.
And that day and that day. You know what? We'll get a hold of you.
We're booked, yes.
No, if you want to come on the podcast and be a guest and if you think you're interesting enough.
We will vet you.
Yeah, we will actually.
We will.
Yeah. We didn't used to vet people for the podcast.
You didn't.
Do you remember the one person we had on last year that we were like, totally should have done some more research about that?
I do.
Yeah, I do too. Go see if you can find that episode.
I will. No, we're moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that, though. I really am.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we should make a goal to like probably interview a lot of people.
A lot of people.
Yeah. I was also thinking.
What kind of people do you want to talk to? Let's do this.
Hold on.
What?
Save that thought.
Okay.
We missed last week.
Yes.
And
Well, we didn't miss last week.
I know we didn't miss it. It's not like it magically disappeared.
We consciously decided to rejuvenate.
Our vaginas.
Well, I'm stuffing dicks over here, so like it needed a break. Just kidding.
We're gonna at some point catch up.
I made you lose your train of thought.
All the dicks and all the holes and all the stuffing. Just delicious Thanksgiving dinner.
Yay, you can't say Thanksgiving.
They'll be giving thanks.
No, you can't say Thanksgiving.
Oh God.
You want to do a recap?
Yeah, no.
No?
We're gonna make up for it.
We're gonna make up for it?
Yeah, there'll be some weeks where we'll release multiple episodes as opposed to just one in order to make up for the weeks that we miss. Because we're gonna get 52 fucking episodes this year.
Oh, so 52 is your goal. I'm like, we don't have anything to fucking make up for.
A minimum.
Okay. As long as you don't think we have to make up for something.
No, we're not making up for anything.
We don't have anything to make up for.
There's nothing wrong with missing a weekend or missing a week here and there.
I think we should have done a little bit more prep before this one. Like, this is the way we introduced 2021. Trigger warning. We don't know what the fuck we're talking about. Come on in.
Yeah. It's a good way to introduce this year.
I think we're doing good. I'm just kidding.
Mm-hmm.
No, I had all these like... I'm going to start a goal.
Okay.
For this year. I am going to write down all the things that I think about. I'm going to write down the things that I think about for the show.
Okay. Have you not been doing that?
No. I do that every once in a while, but so much of the time, here's where it goes wrong. So much of the time I have things that come up and I'm like, I want to talk about that. That's good. I'm not going to forget it. And then I do forget it. And the things that I'm like, I'm going to forget it. I'm going to write it down. I look back. I'm like, why the fuck did I write that down? I don't want to talk about it. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
So what I write down is pretty much, I have like stuff on my list that is just no.
Well, delete it. Get it off your list.
I know I should. Why don't I just do that?
Yeah. Make room for new stuff.
And then I'm going to start. So when I have these things that come up, I'm going to sit down and be able to talk.
I feel like we were having a conversation at lunch today that I was like, save it for the podcast.
Probably. We were. See? I didn't write it down.
What was it?
I don't remember.
It was a really good conversation.
It was before we ate, though.
It would have been great.
I have stopped hiding the podcast.
Good.
Yes, I know. You're like, why are you not? Because I was super nervous about people that I know other than the family part of it, but people that I know or clients finding out that it's me. So I would have the door shut
Yes.
I would not talk. And when somebody would bring it to my attention, hi, thank you for that, by the way. I would get panicky and scared. And now it's like, oh, no, it's okay. It's okay. So I'm putting it out there. I'm stepping into it more and being okay with the fact that.
What about it is difficult for you to
I was
own?
just going to tell you.
Okay.
It's because I tell my truth here. I'm not composed. I'm not, I say way more of my depth and scary things here than I do to people face to face. I've opened up way more here than I do with people. And so I feel like for a while, this was my safe place because I didn't think people that I was going to know was going to hear. So it was like my way to talk about things that were inside me and really say what I feel about things and like things that I'm struggling with. It was my safe place. It was like my therapy. It was my safe place.
And
now
then you realize people are
listening. I'm like, fuck, that was a private conversation.
That's a good thing though.
So
the
now,
listening people
it is a good thing, but I'm not going to hide it anymore. That doesn't mean like I still struggle with saying some of the things and I get intimidated when you check your watch. Like, oh, am I talking too much?
You're not talking too much. I was checking the watch because we have a son that we have to go pick up.
Wasn't it? But I'm letting it be. Like I'm letting it be. I'm letting it show. I've got the sticker up. I've talked to people. I haven't done a lot, but I'm not hiding it.
Good.
Yeah. And it's
Good,
really
good.
fucking hard.
That is not only the truth, but also what she said.
Okay.
And I am in the same boat as you.
You are? I feel like
Yeah.
you promote a... Okay.
I do to some extent, right?
Okay.
When it comes to the podcast. But I'm also in that same place where it's like I'm trying to think of stuff that I don't want to talk about. Well, that's not true. I'm trying to think of stuff that is difficult for... What am I trying to say here? First off, the reason I'm having a difficult time speaking is because my anxiety has been really, really bad lately.
Same.
And it's to the point where like,
We're gonna need some reinforcement. We'll get help.
yeah, it fucks my brain up.
Yeah.
Messes up my sleep. I'm not sleeping super great. I'm very, very, senses are getting me. So
Sensory overload.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's the words. And it's not just
I
like,
don't like finger guns.
sound. Trigger warning, finger guns.
I actually don't like finger guns.
Uh-oh. Trigger warnings.
Don't do that.
You
Stop
fucking
it. I don't like that.
Okay. Yes, sensory.
Anxiety is high.
All of those things have been getting me. And it causes like real anxiety in my body, and my chest gets tight and hard to breathe and all of these things. And I realized this in the last like week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. And then I had the realization of like, oh yeah, this is totally that time of year for me where it becomes very much my pattern in my cycle, that this is like the downtime for me. This is the time when I get really, not depressed, because I don't feel depressed. I just feel anxious. But this is the time throughout the year, usually between like November and February, where I'm just in a real funky place. And I realized that like 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago. And then it was just like, oh, such a relief for me, just to have that reminder and that remembrance. And then that way it wasn't, I wasn't panicking about like, oh, I have to hurry up and fix this. I got to get out of this fucking funk. I got to do all these different things. I'm like, just fucking relax, dude. Because this is totally just your normal rhythm, just the regular cycle that you're going to go through. Everything's going to be totally okay. So that made me feel better. I was talking about something before I talked about that. Do you remember what it was?
No, because it's going to continue off of this topic, so I don't remember.
Okay, continue. Off of this topic. Is that what you meant? Like you
Well,
had
that's what I
something
was
to
going to
say?
do, but I'm trying to help you remember.
It's okay.
So cognitive abilities for me
Yeah.
are low. with all the anxiety. You're not alone in the seasonal aspect of it, although that's a new one for me to admit. Only I'm very anxious.
Did you get it stuck in your throat?
Yeah.
Sorry. I was trying to
And
be
you're
silly.
like, you're not depressed. I'm very, very depressed. I've had really, really hard times. I've had some really scary times. It's really hard. I'm not doing good
Yeah.
with this. And I don't know if it's just like, it's always hard. Like, I always have a hard time
During this time of year?
Talked about the lights. Like, maybe we need to try those fucking lights.
The sunlights?
But I think it's compounded because of how little, like, it feels worse. And I don't know if it feels worse every year. I can't think of that right now. I can only think of right now.
Think of what it feels like now.
Bad. Like, it's bad. And it hasn't been this bad in a while. And it makes me wonder if it's because we've had so little connection this last year. If there's been less time outside, if there's been less time with other people, if there's just been less. So now it's like, when you have that to kind of like try and deal with these things, it's like you're going into like your dry spell with an empty tank. It's been hard. It's been really hard. I'm not the only one.
We are not the only ones.
Yeah, I didn't mean to. I meant with the depression level being so bad, not just the seasonal aspect of it, but I mean being at a level of, I'm supposed to be in gratitude, and I'm trying, and I am a lot, but there's moments where
Not so much.
it's everything I have.
Yeah.
And it's so hard for so many people. And it's like, everybody's like, reach out, reach out, reach out. But when you're there, like, how the fuck do you reach out?
Yeah, it's hard.
You can't. And so the people that do, that find that strength to reach out there, I don't know, they're pretty badass.
Big kudos to them.
Yeah.
It's also shitty because you and I are, like, we're both in it, right?
Yeah.
Where I think oftentimes we're able to balance each other out a little bit and kind of, help the other person.
Yeah.
But it kind of sucks when we're both there.
Yeah.
Because we're both just kind of miserable. And
Just come over and be on the podcast.
yeah, come hang out with
fun.
the Salazars. It's a lot of fun. It's just a fucking barrel of fucking fun.
I think we're doing okay.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. That was the thing that I realized, like I said, a few weeks ago. It was like, oh, fucking relax, Craig. You're doing just fine.
I'm doing just fine.
Because this is totally your normal rhythm. And whether it's worse this year, hello, right?
It's worse right now.
Right.
I don't know if it's worse this year.
Of
but
course it's worse
right
this
now.
year. Or even if it's...
It just gives me a little bit of more patience with myself
Exactly.
instead of thinking like, oh, I have regressed 100%. Like, no, you're doing good.
You're doing really
Doing
good.
good. It's okay that it's hard. It's okay that it's hard. It's okay that you're fucking not okay right now. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay that you're not okay. It's
Yeah.
okay.
You hear
It's
that
okay.
all the time.
You do. But it's like, it's real. It's not like that. I'm like, it's okay. You don't have to be okay right now.
Yeah. We're not. Okay. In case it's not obvious. But we are doing okay. Kind of ish.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah, we are.
And we're coming around, I think, the last few days. You and I have been connecting more.
Yeah,
working
we
on
have.
connecting
We
with
have
each
been
other.
connecting more the last few days.
Yeah. There's something. I think we're over the hump. At least I feel like I'm over the hump. I'm not out
Yeah.
of
Oh,
the
fuck.
out of the clear yet.
I'm not fucking over the hump.
Yeah.
Or over out of the hump. What did you say? Out of the hump?
Out of
Over
the clear.
hump?
In the clear.
There's no clears or humps right now. I'm in the muck. Yeah, I'm muck. No, I'm doing okay. I'm floating in the muck.
Yeah.
I'm not sinking in it. I'm still in the muck.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, it's like when you take a moment in the ocean or whatever, when you're floating on your back. I'm floating on my back in the muck.
Yeah.
So I'm still there, but I'm like, I'm above water, so that's pretty good.
I think you're doing great.
Thank you.
And yeah, I'm so silly, babe, because I keep thinking, I remembered what I was talking about before we got onto this
good.
tangent. And it was
Good.
the stuff that I'm nervous about us talking about on the podcast.
Yeah,
Do you remember that?
I do. I feel like that wasn't hard to remember, but completely scrolled away from that.
Can I say? I'm going to forget it soon, too.
I think it's because you don't want to talk about it because you're scared to.
Well, it's this mixed bag where I want to talk about stuff. I really do. And I think I use the excuse that it's like, you're not ready to talk about stuff. So then I'm like, well, you'll get there. But I think the reality is it's not just you. And I don't know. I'm trying to think about the impetus for wanting to talk about stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, what is my reasoning?
What is your reasoning?
I don't know.
I feel like you do.
Well, there's always this caveat of like, I'm very much like sensationalism and talking about, do you know what I mean, stuff on the podcast that is going to be
Controversial?
not just controversial.
You want a reaction.
I just want good content.
You don't
Like,
think this is good content?
I think this is good content. I'm not
I feel like
complaining.
this is good content.
It is good content.
Talked about stuffing dicks and everything. There's some controversy for you. I said all the holes. Come on. Is
No,
that not enough?
I think this is fine content. I'm not complaining about the content of this episode or our podcast.
I know.
I'm simply talking about,
I'm being aggressive because I'm panicking.
that's an aspect of it, is that I want content that is good, real,
Okay.
like, do you know what I mean, straightforward.
Okay.
I don't want imaginary stuff.
Mm-hmm. What are you going to do when I'm ready?
Well, that's the thing, is I don't know.
I think I am. Can't do it right now, but how fucking convenient. I think I'm ready right now when we've already been recording for, an hour? Something? We got to go?
Yeah, I don't know.
What are you
We'll
gonna
see.
do?
That's the thing, is I don't know. And that's the thing, is I don't even know what to talk about. Do you know what I mean?
Why do you want to talk about it?
I don't
Answer me
know.
that in private.
In private?
Yeah.
Talk what?
Why you want to talk about it so bad? Because I think it's more than the controversial.
I'm sure it
the
is.
good content.
Yeah, I'm sure
dun,
it is.
dun, dun.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
I don't know why. What was that?
I don't know.
I want to throw a card at your face.
Go ahead, throw a card at my face. It's on camera. I'll cry.
I'll tip the camera over.
I that look was, you know exactly what it is, and I know you do.
What is it?
I didn't say I know what it is. I said you know exactly what it is, and you want it to be said for you and pulled out of you. And that's okay. I do that too.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's so fucking hard. It's like, please help me say this thing. I want to say it so bad, and it is too hard, and it scares me too much, and I need help. So please pull it out of me so it can come out. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Like
Okay.
you said, we're not talking about it now, and maybe we'll talk about it when we push stop.
Probably not. I'm gonna fucking bolt. I'm gonna get my cheetah pants on and be like, wow.
That's so cute. We'll see. And that's not the only topic either.
Really?
Yeah.
What else do you want to talk about that we're not talking about?
I think there's got to be something
I can only think of one thing that you want to talk about
that we
right
aren't
now.
talking about.
Yeah. Oh, I can think of two things.
What's the second one?
But it's all wrapped up in the same thing, really.
Okay.
You just like made that connection too,
No.
huh? No?
No, I can't think of the second one that you're thinking of.
Okay.
I don't know. I keep thinking,
Wouldn't it be funny if the second one that I'm thinking of is actually your first one and I was thinking this and you actually meant this, because we're just talking in code here? Don't worry, he doesn't know what I'm saying either.
correct. I don't know what you're saying. But yes, that would be cool. That would be cool if that was that and this was this. And then we talked about both of them,
We probably will.
whatever they might be.
How do we, I wonder if we should start, you know what I think?
Let me hear it.
I think we need to break up the podcasts into, like, sit down and do one long session and break that up into multiple ones, because it takes me a while to warm up. And by the time we get to the end of the podcast, I'm like, let's talk. I'm ready to go. Now I'm time. And then that's when we're done. So if we did that, then you have part 1, part 2, part 3, whatever. Then you have the warm up, and then you have the good stuff.
Well,
that
of course,
takes me a while to warm back up to.
we can totally do that.
It's a thought.
Yeah. I mean, we can, there's no restriction on how long these episodes have to be or can be.
Battery restriction.
No, but that thing is good for fucking 8 hours. So we can't do more than 8 hours. This
Might
thing
take
will-
me there if I know it's going to get to that point. It might be 8 hours, but like, I'm ready to talk. I'm really good at like,
Yeah. I am too.
yeah.
Yeah, I am too.
How would it work for you to Would you still be able to like do the clips? And because if you're only downloading certain of it,
Yeah, I can do anything.
maybe that's the way we do it. Maybe there's a couple like that, and then you also get your 52 at least content.
Yeah, there's the ketchup. Now where's the mustard?
Now where's the mustard? I'll show you where the mustard is. That was not sexy. Just take that off.
Do you have any guests that are popping into your mind that you want to interview? I mean, besides your friend that you want to have come on?
No.
No.
Because before that, I said how I get scared about to talk to people. But I know with this girl, I can easily, I've had many natural conversations with her. That'll be fine. It'll just be getting on here and be excited to see her and talk to her and catch up with her.
Yeah, I keep trying to think of like people that I'm interested in, or topics that I'm interested in, or just straight up interesting people, right? And I keep coming up with nothing.
That's the same. But that's not because we don't find people interesting. It's just there's some block with that. We're coming about it at an angle that is a brick wall. Like we need to walk around because we keep coming up to the same one. So we just need to look at it differently. Because we find interesting people all the time. There's tons of people we like, tons of people we want to talk to. It's just when we put in this context, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for more good information. If you keep coming up to a brick wall, I'm sorry I hit it with my face. You need to walk around to the front door or the back door.
I know what one of my
Mic drop.
blocks is.
We gotta go.
Are we going?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. What's one of your blocks?
Well, I'm not going to talk about it on the podcast.
Oh, you just brought it up. My anxiety levels are through the roof. I'm trying to use that humor, and I'm being annoying.
Why are they
trying
through
to be
the roof?
comfortable. I'm just because we're going to talk about things,
Oh,
and I can feel it, and I can feel the muscles in my face spasming.
Breathe into your belly.
I'm going to do some ocean breaths. Hold on.
What are ocean breaths?
Ujjayi breaths. That wasn't it. Hold on.
Ujjayi?
I think it's Ujjayi. I'm probably saying it wrong. I'll have to look again. Do you want to hear him or not?
Yeah.
Then shh.
Okay.
Okay, I have to get there. Fucking like I'm doing it. Ocean breaths calm your anxiety. I should do a few more. I'll do meditations at the end of this. Let's breathe. Everybody fucking breathe. We're gonna be fine.
Oh, you're so
I'm
pretty.
about to have a nervous breakdown. I think we gotta get off.
You're so pretty.
Thank you.
This episode of this podcast.
It's a trigger warning.
It is a trigger warning, and it was brought to you by Love Good Fats. Remember, go to our website, ENERGYISLOVEPodcast.com, click on sponsors up top, and then go to Love Good Fats and get some delicious good fat bars.
Yes. They're so good.
Enter Energy is Love at checkout and save 20%. Super good deal, and they're amazing, and they're incredible. They're keto friendly. Put them in the freezer. Delicious.
Guilty pleasures, they totally hit that spot when you need chocolate. When you need chocolate,
you get
to eat the chocolate,
Yeah.
and it's delicious, and it doesn't like fuck you all up.
Yeah, it's delicious.
So it is
LoveGoodFats.com. Energy is Love at checkout. And we'll see you next week, maybe with finally the topics that we're going to talk about, but not really talk about.
Maybe with a complete panic
Never
attack
know.
on air, maybe not.
We could have a complete meltdown.
I feel like I'm having one.
I'm panicking.
I'm panicking. Okay.
Just keep swimming. I love you.
I've gotta go. I'm
Okay.
really okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.